It was a show of overwhelming force, meant to intimidate, to crush the spirit before crushing the body. But Kane wasn't intimidated. His fighter weaved in and out of the deadly rain, dodging explosions with an impossible, balletic precision. He was a ghost, a phantom of steel and fire against the backdrop of cosmic chaos. Every shot he returned from his own cannons was a masterpiece of targeting. He didn't waste energy on armored hulls. He aimed for reactors, for bridge windows, for weapon emplacements. Each shot tore through enemy hulls, sparking chain reactions that blossomed into silent, brilliant novas of destruction. But for every ship he disabled, 10 more took its place. There were hundreds of them, each faster, deadlier, and seemingly more ruthless than the last. They were a hive mind of destruction, adapting, learning, and swarming. Soon, a dedicated squadron of alien interceptors broke from the main formation, their sleek, insectoid frames diving straight at him. They were the Vicores elite pilots, sent to eliminate the single, irritating gnat that was causing so much trouble. Kane saw them coming on his tactical display. A predator's smirk spread across his face. He had survived worse. He had hunted leviathans on jungle worlds where the air itself was poison. He had fought machine armies in the ruins of forgotten civilizations. This was just another Tuesday. With a Sudan violent barrel roll, he pulled his fighter into a tight spin, deliberately letting one of the interceptors get too close. The alien pilot, arrogant and overconfident, saw an easy kill. It was a fatal mistake. Kane fired a magnetic grappling hook, a piece of surprisingly low-tech but brutally effective equipment. The hook slammed into the interceptor's wing, and with a wrenching jerk, Kane tore it clean off. The alien ship went into an uncontrollable death spiral, spinning directly into its wingmen. Boom! Boom! The collisions were catastrophic. In a matter of minutes, 3 of the enemy's finest ships were reduced to a cloud of expanding debris. And Kane, he hadn't even broken a sweat. His heart rate was as steady as a metronome. Despite his early successes, the stark reality of the situation was undeniable. The alien fleet was bigger, smarter, and still relentlessly pressing its attack. He could dance among them all day, picking them off one by one, but eventually, a lucky shot would get through. And send them scattering back to whatever dark corner of the galaxy they came from. He had to get inside their flagship. It was the heart of the V-Corps command structure. Cut off the head, and the body would wither. And guards, hulking V-Corps warriors clad in dark armor, patrolled the halls with plasma blades that were twice as long as Kane's entire body. He moved like a shadow, a product of years of training in infiltration and silent combat. He was a ghost in their machine. Every strike was precise, economical, and final. A flick of the wrist to sever a power conduit, plunging a hallway into darkness. A silent takedown from the rafters above. The fallen guard left, slumped against a wall, completely unaware of what, or who, had just passed by. Kane wasn't just fighting his way through the ship. He was sending a message, a terrifying rumor, that would spread through the ship's crew long before they ever saw him. He was letting them know. Humans don't surrender humans in body. He fought his way deeper and deeper into the ship, following the flow of energy to its source. Finally, he reached the heart of the vessel. The bridge. The doors hissed open, and he stepped into the command center. At its center, standing before a massive holographic map of the battle, was Admiral Vicar, the alien supreme commander. Vicar was an imposing figure, towering over Kane. His body encased in ornate, powerful armor plates, his hands ending in sharp, metallic claws. He turned slowly, his multifaceted eyes fixing on the lone human who had breached his impenetrable fortress. A low, guttural growl rumbled in his chest. "Human," he snarled, the translator device on his collar turning the sound into cold, clipped words. "Your species is insignificant, a minor annoyance. Surrender now, or die." Kane just laughed. It was a short, sharp, humorless sound that echoed strangely on the alien bridge. "You should have stayed in your corner of the galaxy," he said, his voice calm and steady. The two clashed. It was a blur of plasma, brutal punches, and martial precision. Vikar was strong and surprisingly fast, his plasma blade carving burning arcs through the air. But Kane was a Deathworlder. He was faster, more agile, and far more cunning. He dodged the admiral's energy strikes, using the bridge consoles for cover. He ripped handfuls of wires from control panels, causing sparks to shower the room and systems to fail. With a perfectly timed move, he used Vikar's own momentum against him, sending the massive alien general flying into a wall with a sickening crunch of armor. Disoriented and enraged, the alien general realized he'd underestimated his opponent. Pride gave way to survival instinct. He tried to flee, scrambling for a secondary exit. But Kane was already at the main control console. His fingers flew across the alien interface, his training allowing him to access their systems with frightening speed. He found what he was looking for: the ship's self-destruct sequence. He activated it. A klaxon began to blare. Red lights flooded the bridge. A calm, automated voice began counting down in the Vikor language. Kane turned to the retreating admiral, a final, chilling smile on his face. "Enjoy the ride," he said. With only seconds to spare, Kane located the ship's brig. He blasted the locks, freeing a group of alien prisoners from a dozen different species the Vikor had conquered. They stared at him, a mix of fear and awe in their eyes. He herded them towards an emergency shuttle bay. He launched the small craft just as the countdown reached 0. The mothership erupted behind them, a silent, magnificent fireball that lit up the dark of space for millions of miles. The prisoners in the shuttle with him watched, speechless, as the symbol of their oppression was vaporized. The remaining Armada, their command structure shattered, their leader gone, was thrown into chaos. Stunned and terrified by the single human who had destroyed their flagship from the inside out, they did the only thing they could. They turned and fled, their retreat a panicked, disorganized scramble. Back on the surface of Orion-Prime, Kane stood on a balcony overlooking the capital city, watching the last of the enemy warships warp away into the black. The sky was clear once more. The planet was safe. On that day, the aliens had learned a painful, unforgettable truth. Never, ever underestimate a human. And in that moment, a new legend was born. A story that would be told on every world in the sector,